No, I don't think mothers should give teenagers a vibrator. I think it's absurd we even have to have this conversation in the first place. My mother wouldn't, and I could never see her giving me a vibrator in the first place. Yes, I had one, but I was giving it off my best mate. But my mum would not do it. I wouldn't. If I had a daughter, give my daughter a vibrator. That is the last thing you want to think of as a parent. What is happening? There are a couple of things that you as a mom or a dad should not know. Parents who think they have to know everything, well, are never going to, because at some point teenagers are good and about hiding things and getting away with things too. Trust me, believe me on that. And if my mum ever gave me a vibrator, she would make me feel embarrassed. In fact, I would be mortified if I didn't know what one was, and she told me to put it in because, because to me that is wrong. It is wrong because it's weird, it's uncomfortable, and it's awkward, and it's not the sort of conversation that you really want to have with your mom. Yes, of course, your mom will talk to you about the birds and the bees and periods, but this is a line that mothers, I believe, should not cross. What this whole thing is a way of saying, look how in control I am as a mother. And also it's making themselves look cool in their children's eyes. So instead of becoming a parent, teaching them, now this is what not to do, this is what I expect of you, what you're actually doing is letting them do what they want. And of course, no parent wants to be the sort of parent that goes, no way, all the time. It's a lot harder to say no in the first place. It's a lot easier to say yes. And if your child doesn't even know what a vibrator is, the last thing you really want to do is introduce it to them in the first place, because in actual fact the message that's coming across is you're gonna do it, so here you go, this is my blessing to touch yourself. Wrong. It's like even with smoking. Yes, I have heard when I used to go to school girls and boys going, my mum is so cool, or my dad is cool. He'll just give me a cigarette as and when I need it. And I mean, at school, I'd be like, oh my God, your parents are so awesome. But this is what I'm trying to tell people. It's like, do you really want to encourage it? It is one thing knowing that your kid is smoking or touching themselves, but you don't want to encourage it. If they wish to come and talk to you personally about it, then it's their call. But at least they know that they can, if that is what you want to happen. Or it's kind of like this. Parents don't want their kids to do things behind their backs, or going out, buying a packet, getting them to do it in front of them is encouraging it. Doing it in front of you is a clever way of getting them not to be sneaky about it. But at the same time, although kids will experiment, you do not want to encourage it. Encourage anything. It's like, and what really annoys me is when it comes to drinking alcohol. Okay, this weekend I am going to my high school reunion this weekend, and across the internet there's this post with a young girl in a picture face down on the grass, and the caption right above this picture reads, nothing like the days when you'd tell your parents you were at a sleepover and you'd really be lying in a field somewhere dying of alcohol poisoning. No, not dying, but that is how it would feel like to a young teenager. And this is what scares parents. This is what scares parents. It's like, oh, well, if this is happening, then I need to control it. I need to fix it. So parents, because they don't want things like that happening, no parent wants to think their child would sneak or lie behind their backs. So therefore, in this day and age, it's, you can drink at mine, where I can monitor your alcohol intake, which what they are actually implying is, if they are going to drink, they are going to do it in front of you, where you can see exactly what happens. Now, how can I put this? What you do in front of your parents and what you do when your parents aren't looking are two different things. If I think my mum is looking, I'm going to be on my best behaviour, even if I am a bit tipsy. Even now, at the age of 32, I will always be on my best behaviour if my mum's about. But when I'm not, and I can let loose, and I'm with friends of mine, I do things that she probably wouldn't agree with at all. But kids need to have that. And when I say kids, I don't mean kids. What I mean is teenagers. And teenagers, once they get to well, it has been 13 in the past, but these days it's as young as 12. And the thing is, when they are experimenting, parents are constantly looking for ways to have that control, which they don't, and it scares the shit out of them. I'm sorry for my language, but it scares the crap out of them. And they are gonna put, laws down that you can't do this. Well, let's just say a good house rule is not to allow your kids out after dark. Once it hits night time, kids are in the house, not outside doing whatever else. If you have a sleepover, it has to be at this person's house, and parents will go, okay, what's the name of this kid's parents? What time are you going to be home? When are you coming home? And that is what needs to happen to have the control, which is exactly what my parents did with me. And the one argument is these days with kids and teenagers is, well, they are gonna do it anyway, so they might as well get on with it, and we need to support them in possibly giving them a vibrator or cigarettes. Just because a child turns 16 doesn't mean they are ready for sex. Just because a child wants to start going to parties, do you start supplying them with cigarettes? And then just because they are experimenting with themselves, would you then think to ever hand them a vibrator? This is all morally wrong, and that's what really bugs me, because it's morally wrong, and it is all about control. Parents are always like, well, what can we do? How can we have that control over our kids? But parents who like to manage the situation by handing cigarettes over, which my dad smokes, but he has never ever gone, here, why don't you have one? And even to this day, I would never ask. I'd always have my own. And parents who hand their cigarettes over, allow parties in their house, well, they are going to have the reputation with younger kids to be the cooler parents, and parents who are trying to desperately install rules, values and respect are now being the bad parents. These are the parents that the child wants to pull away from and go to the cooler parent down the road who lets their kids do anything. And there you go, exactly. Who has ever said or come out with to their mums or dads, well, Emma's parents let her do what she wants. They can do this, this and this. And Damien, he gets to do what he wants to. I want to do what I want to do. And let's face it, as teenagers growing up, we all want to do what we want to do and go to parties and stay out until 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. The only time I ever stayed out till 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning was when I was in my 20s. And yes, and it's like if your kid, or you have a look in your kid's school bag to look at for some homework or something, and then you see a packet of cigarettes in there, you're like, well, where's this come from? And then again, they would get a bollocking, and also like, well, where did you get it? And parents who haven't a clue what's going on, they won't stop until they get the truth. And if they turn around and go, well, Laura's parents gave it to me, right, that's it, I'm having it out with Laura's parents. And one by one, these parents will actually get blacklisted, talked about, and there's a lot of speculation these days of being a bad parent, because it's like, how can I put this? It's what parents need to do is not try necessarily to control their kids. This is what I'm talking about, being a teenager, because of course teenagers are gonna learn what, how can I put this, they learn to know what they can do and how far they can push it. They will push boundaries, and if your boundaries are weak and you give in, that's not teaching them anything. And parents who always have a you know, like, no, you're at home by this time, you're you know, my parents wouldn't allow me out after dark. It's how you bring your children up, and this is a key thing. You need to educate and encourage and help children to have a bit of sense, to know the difference from wrong and right and what's bad and good. I mean, I've been in situations my parents don't even know about, and I've made decisions to, I think, keep myself safe. And the thing is, if your parents teach you this is how to keep yourself safe, this is good, this is bad, this is, you know, this is wrong, because kids at times can come to you and they can't talk to you. But at the same time, if your kid goes to school and they interact with other people, they will form a bunch of close mates. But if your children or your child is sensible, has a bit of sense, they will attract like-minded young teenagers. And if you happen to talk to them mums or dads, you will find they will have the same thoughts and opinions as you. And then, you know, and then children always tend to rub off each other. But if they surround themselves with sensible people, because they are of a sensible nature, or you help them to be, then they would rub off on each other in a good way, and they will learn to sort of protect each other and keep each other out of harm.